Welcome back to some more DBD news. My name is Wolfyowns, and we have a lot to talk about. This is where we talk about all of the special and new things coming to Dead by Daylight. Now, first off, I do want to say that I am so happy to be back and doing content daily for you guys. That is awesome. I did put my projects, as I said in my other video the other day, to the side. They are wrapped up in a nice little bow. But moving on to the important things today, the PTB will be here tomorrow. Oh my god, the PTB is going to be here tomorrow with the new emblem system for getting pips. Oh, but don't take my word for it. Let's listen to the devs.
It. First of all, the PTB. So, very important. There will be a PTB this weekend, which means a public test build. That's an alternate build you can get on Steam by entering a keyword in there. All the information will be given to you on every single piece of social media. So you'll be able to play an alternate build of the game in which you'll be able to test the Emblems system. What's the Emblem system, you ask?
I do ask, what is the Emblem system?
We'll talk about that on the panel in a little bit when Thomas comes in to talk about his work.
Ooh, the PTB will be here tomorrow. Now, many of you guys have asked me, Wolfie, when is the PTB going to be here? Wolfie, when are we getting the PTB? You guys would ask me this a lot and send me messages asking me. And guess what? I have your answer. It is going to be here tomorrow. Like I said, I'll tell you guys as soon as I can. This is going to be awesome. I hope to see many of you guys there testing it out on PC. Now, moving on to the new event that will be coming out after the PTB.
I'm allowed to talk about this. So do you have the community event slide? That thing? Okay, so what's in the next community event, you ask?
I do ask, what's in the next community event? Tell me more.
All right, so you will be able to get special offerings during that community event.
Ooh.
If you play that offering, it'll have an impact on how the game is generated. It'll unlock in-game objectives.
Really?
You are very good at acting surprised.
Yeah, I know.
You will be able to work on personal and community challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You will be able to win character customization, admire in-game and menu theme changes, and you will be able to gather new items.
Ooh. Well, I can imagine the chat's already blown up. Can you tell us what the items are?
No, I can't.
Surprise.
However...
Oh my god, guys, we are getting a new event right after the PTB, and this event sounds freaking awesome. We'll be able to get offerings during this event that will allow us to have new or more objectives inside of a game. So basically, these offerings will change the game altogether, which is going to be freaking awesome. So make sure you do farm up a ton of these offerings like I'm going to. Plus, we are going to have new items as well and customizations. Oh my god, could this month get any more crazy? Now, they said when, so I'm kind of curious. Can you not get these outfits? Like, if you miss out on this, are you not going to get these outfits? Well, the devs have answered that question, so let's listen in.
Win customization items? Is there a chance that I cannot get the new items? You are absolutely correct. There are possibilities that you might not get the item.
So when the event happens, play.
Yeah, because there are personal challenges as well as community challenges. So if you're not participating in the personal challenges, then you might not get the items.
Don't worry, the challenges are pretty fun.
The community event will not happen at the same time as the PTB. So the PTB is over the weekend, this weekend. The community event is not this weekend. I don't have time to give you right now, but it is not this weekend. So you'll have time to play the PTB and enjoy yourself and you know, play with the new rules. Give us your thoughts on that, and then you'll be able to enjoy the community event with the rest of the people afterwards. I have a few questions.
Okay, for starters, it's a good thing that the PTB is not going to be going on at the same time that the event is going on. It's a good thing the event is going to be after the PTB, which is really smart, really good. Make sure you do play during the event, because if you don't, you will not get these items, and these items will be going away, and the customization, which means they are going to be exclusive and rare, so make sure you do get these while you can. Moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we're going to talk a little bit about Freddy. Now, if you don't know, when Freddy first came out, he was a noob slayer, he was doing amazing, he got nerfed, and we haven't heard about Freddy since. We don't really know how's he doing in the killer area, so what we're going to do is listen to see how good Freddy's actually doing.
That's a good idea. Freddy has been out for a while now. Can you please share some Freddy-related stats, such as average number of kills or the average game rating, if Freddy is the killer? So there's two things on that. First of all, Julien, who's our stats person, is currently taking care of a newborn baby. Very happy for him.
Yeah.
But it means that we get a lot of raw stats and we don't analyze it as efficiently as we usually do. We have to do it ourselves.
Yeah, understandably.
So he's going to come back. And also right now, if we look at Freddy, there's still a slightly higher rate of disconnects against Freddy than other killers, and that skews some of the stats, so it's a little difficult for us to have that.
Yeah.
What the hell, guys? Come on. What is going on? You guys are really disconnecting against Freddy. Just stop and learn how to play against a killer. Freddy is one of the weakest killers in the game. He takes way too long to do anything in the game. Yet he has the most disconnects compared to any other killer. That's insane. I'd expect Billy or Nurse to have more disconnects than Freddy. Come on, guys. Learn your killers. It's not too hard. Moving on to the next part of the dev stream. Have you guys ever wondered about the golden toolbox and what really it has to do with the game? Well, guess what? The devs told us today.
All right. I have a question here from Lucille is a vampire bat.
That's a nice name.
Worth mentioning.
Yeah.
In the last stream, you wanted to talk about the golden toolbox, but we ran out of time.
Yeah.
It was not the last stream, it was the one before. So can we talk about it? Yes. Okay. So
Good one, devs. Good one. You really got all of us with that one. I'm not even joking either. Quite a bit of us were really pog-champing for this, but the turnout, the devs are not going to tell us anything. Maybe. But so far, we don't have any information on this golden toolbox, and I would really love to know what it has to do with anything, because it's almost on every map. But maybe if we stand by, maybe they will tell us.
The reason, really.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So, well, you know, yeah, but keep asking those questions. We like that.
Nope, that would be a no. Well, devs, we sure love you. Moving on to the next part of the dev stream, you guys are worried about your hex totems being destroyed by survivors at the start of the game. Well, the devs might actually have an answer for the hex totem placement.
Once you guys said that you want to hide totems better, do you maybe have any possible changes for the totem system? Maybe some kind of anti-expert. So we talked about the Fool's Greed, I think it was called. It was a very popular one. It's still in the books that we want to do this at some point. But mostly the two things that we want to do is make sure that no survivors spawn near the hex totem. And the other thing is to make sure that the killer spawns really close to that hex totem, so that he can start patrolling around and making sure that it's safe. That would help immensely already.
Tons, actually.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good idea. This is actually pretty good because the hex totem will not get destroyed at the start of the game, so it actually encourages you to use more hex totems now, and it will actually give you a chance to defend it and protect it the way you want to, which this is really good. Now I'm curious how this works with 4 hex totems. Like, where did the hex totems go? Are all 4 of them right next to each other? Because that could make kind of like a hex totem meta. Moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we are going to talk about the pig, aka Amanda, and her ability that notifies you when she's about to attack you. So, let's listen to what the devs have to say.
Okay, we have here, crouching with a pig is not very effective because of the loud noise she makes when beginning to lunge. Is this intended, or will it be tweaked to make ambush attack more viable? Again, this one is twofold. One of the sounds that you hear is a sound that's for every single killer. It's when a killer stays quiet for a certain amount of time. There's this stinger that plays. This will be removed from the pig. It's a mistake. We didn't notice it. We'll fix it. The other one is the roar. It's by design.
Yep.
The one thing that we're thinking of as a balance thing, we might actually put the roar at the end of the lunge instead of at the beginning, so that you still get that a little more of that surprise.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Okay, so roar intended, insidious, design one to remove. There you go.
So basically what they're saying here is that Amanda gives off 2 sounds when she goes to ambush you. She gives off a notification sound and she gives off a roar. Now the notification sound was a bug, which I said it was when I first started going against her in one of my earlier videos when I played against Amanda. And I felt the notification sound was a bug, which I was correct, it is a bug. They're going to be dealing with that. It's going to get removed. Now the roar, they are going to move it towards the end of the ambush, which actually would make her ambush more effective. It'd actually be much better and much easier to actually hit someone with it because you won't be giving them such a heads up that you're about to attack them, which is honestly really good. Now moving on to the biggest, most longest part of the dev stream, we're going to be looking at the new emblem system coming in the PTB. Now, if you are not curious about knowing anything about the emblem system unless you're going to play the PTB, then you can leave now. You don't really need to watch this. But if you are curious about more information of how the emblem system is going to work and how to get your pips now and how everything's going to change, do make sure to keep on watching and buckle the hell up because we are going to be jumping on into this.
All right then, let's do this.
Let's go. So, first thing first, what is the emblem system and what are we trying to do? Just to summarize quickly, what we want to do is to create a new ranking system to be able to evaluate your performance during a match, which is going to be similar both for killer and survivors, trying to avoid the split that we currently have between the way we evaluate the performance of both. Also making sure that it's separated from your income of blood points. So we'll come back to this later, but the emblems are basically items representative of your performance that you're going to see in the tally screen at the end of a match. There are 4 of them. So each of them is going to be evaluated as you play. So we are going to gauge different things and different behaviors in order to be able to give you an emblem at the end of the match.
I'm going to interrupt you right here for 2 things. First of all, can we get that special thing around the screen that tells you this is not live game? This is still part of the design. It's going to be part of the PTB, and then when we remove the PTB, then this will make it into the game later when we're satisfied with it.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, just to reiterate and make sure people understand, this is completely separated from the blood points you get and the progression of your characters.
Absolutely. I will go a bit more in depth in the next slide about that, but this is purely to evaluate your ranking as a survivor or as a killer, and it has no effect on your progression otherwise.
Well, there are many things that are sort of rated by both, so there's a good chance that if you're getting 20,000 plus blood points, you're also getting a pretty good set of emblems, but they are not...
It's not a one-to-one relationship, but chances are good that if you play correctly and you actually get a good amount of blood points, you will get good emblems as well because you show like good behaviors and the kind of things which are rewarded in game. So even though there is not an exact correlation, the two are unlikely to be completely unbalanced.
There you go. Next slide.
So, why a new system? As we were saying, we want to be able to encourage different viable play styles. For example, at the moment, as a killer, you have to hook and to kill in order to be able to rank up. And having a good game can mean a lot of different things. You can apply a lot of pressure on the survivors without actually hooking them and still have a good match. Same for the survivors, you can focus on generators, you can focus on healing others. There are a lot of things you can do, and we want to be able to reward you accordingly based on what you decide to play during the match.
Does this replace pips?
No, pips are still there. What it does is that this is what is going to evaluate the amount of pips you win or you lose.
There you go.
So yeah, the game does not expect you to be consistently good at everything. You can't have an amazing match. Like, it can happen that you have an amazing match where you can hook everyone, you do the gens, you escape, but that's not necessarily the case. And even though you do one of those things very well, that can still be a good match, worth rewarding with 1 pip or 2. So we want to bring more granularity to that.
Will this also replace the current killer victory conditions that rely solely on sacrificing?
Absolutely, it does.
There we go.
We want to create opposition. That's the other big thing.
Yeah.
Even if you were based on blood points in order to be able to win or lose pips, you can still grind them without caring about what the other is actually doing. So you can grind as a killer or you can grind as a survivor, but there isn't necessarily a strong interaction between the two sides. So the idea with the emblems is that they are in opposition with each other. You have 4 for each side, and they compete, meaning that if survivors need to repair gen, for example, then killer has to make it so the gens are not repaired. So they are directly in opposition with each other, creating more friction and more conflict. And chances are high that if you actually progress well in one of your emblem, you are impacting the other side. So if you perform super well in repairing gens, then chances are the killer is not, and so his emblem is going to go down. And finally, we want to separate the currency income and the ranking, which opens the door for a lot of things that we can do in the future. We can rework a lot of like scoring events and make a lot of adjustments in the blood points you win, knowing that all it will affect is your progression and how much you can evolve your character without actually impacting your ranking. So having the two systems completely separate gives us way more freedom in the balancing that we can do on both of them. So those are the reasons why. Now we're going to go in details in what are the emblems and how do they work. So, as we were saying, emblems come in 4 different qualities, from bronze to iridescent. The one that you see on the left being the absence of emblem. It's possible that if you don't perform well at all in one of the category, you won't receive anything. That can happen.
Will the emblem system punish campers?
So it's supposed, if you camp and if you actually only care about
Securing
securing
a
one
kill?
or two kills, you're gonna miss out on so many other things you can do to make your emblems progress. You shouldn't be able to peep, or it should be way harder for you. Even though you can do it, it's actually not the best way to do it at all. So as much as possible, we want to make it so camping is not the option you should refer to if you want to rank up. By the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to Bucket, who made all those icons several times. That's been a long work, and they look amazing. So congrats.
Yeah, she's good.
So each of those emblems is going to progress during the game. You don't see the progression, but once you are in your tally screen, you're going to see each of those emblems at the quality associated with your performance. So as I said, it can go from nothing, bronze, silver, gold, and iridescent. Iridescent rewarding an amazing contribution. It's unlikely that you will get 4 iridescent emblems unless you play amazingly well. But if you focus on one thing and you do it really well, you will get iridescent in this category. Once you get your 4 emblems, the overall quality of the 4 is going to dictate how many pips you win or you lose. So,
But how?
so how? Each of those emblems is associated with an amount of points going from 0 to 4. 0 being the absence of the emblem. Then we sum all the emblems you got, and this amount is going to dictate the amount of pips you're gonna get. So 4 in order to get your safety pip, which is the equivalent of 4 bronze. 4 bronze is enough. 8 in order to get your first pip, and 13 in order to get your second.
There you go.
So now let's have a look at each individual emblems.
All right.
So let's start with the first one, the generators. The survivors are gonna have the Lightbringer emblem, and the killers will have the Gatekeeper one. Both focus on how much, how are you able to complete generators as a survivor, and how much pressure are you able to apply as a killer to delay those generators from being repaired. So for the survivors, it's fairly straightforward. Each point that you make, each progress that you make inside the generator is going to give you a point, and this amount of points is going to dictate the quality of a Lightbringer emblem. Every progress is counted, even though the generator is regressed, even though you fail a skill check. That
So
doesn't matter.
do you get more points if the killer actually breaks it, and then you go back to fix it, and then he breaks it again, and then you go back to fix it?
Yes, because that's the generator which took more time to do.
Okay.
On the other side, you have a Gatekeeper. So every second, passively, killers are going to get points based on the amount of unrepaired generators on the map. So if generators are done very quick and you actually have a hard time to secure them, you're going to get less points per second because there are less generators remaining non-repaired, non-completed, I should say, on the map. But if you're able to secure even a few of them for a long time and actually apply pressure so survivors are not able to complete them, you're going to get a good amount of points.
So there's an interesting question here. Can multiple survivors all get the iridescent emblem, or is it like only one of them will be able to make enough?
No, so for this one specifically, it's possible if you all repair the generators together. For example, the 4 of you on all generators, you could potentially all get iridescent. That's very unlikely, but that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not, there is no disadvantage to working together. We don't want you to put you in a position.
Okay, the next one?
Just one more thing for the killer, you are highly rewarded for actually finishing the match with non-completed generator on the map. So if you kill everyone before the 5 generators are done, for example, you also get
A boost on that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
bonus.
That's good.
Emblem number 2, ability to survive. So unbroken.
Wait, just a sec. How do brand new parts affect the Lightbringer emblem?
Brand new parts should, because you complete it faster, you should get, you're gonna get, if you're able to complete 100% of a generator with a brand new part, you should be able to get your 100% of points.
Good.
Unbroken for the survivors versus Devout for the killer. This is going to focus on your ability to escape alive as a survivor and to kill as a killer. So this Unbroken emblem is only going to be awarded to you if you're able to escape alive. If you die, you will get nothing. And the quality of this emblem is going to depend on the amount of time you got downed. So the more you get down, the less of the quality, knowing that if you escape, no matter what, you will get the minimum quality of bronze. You cannot get below this threshold. But the idea behind it is that you can play with the amount of times you can get it as a resource. If you get it once and you actually go and heal, you won't be penalized for that. But if you actually get down, you will lose points in this category.
Right.
Devout, on the other hand, is focusing only on sacrifices and mores. So bleeding out to death do not bring you points because we don't want to grave slug. But this is basically the previous winning condition for the killer made as one emblem. So what we care about is, are you able to kill and to mori, because that's still one of the things you're supposed to do as a killer. But that's 1 out of 4 emblems now.
Will there still be rank resets?
Yes, for now this doesn't change. This is something else that we want to have a look at. We know that rank reset every month is a bit harsh, but that's a different topic.
Okay. Next one.
Number 3, your ability to perform as a team and be altruistic toward each other versus your ability to apply pressure on survivors and actually make it so they can't help each other. So benevolent versus malicious. This is the most complex one. Benevolent as a survivor means that each time someone is going to be injured or downed or hooked, everyone is going to lose points in this emblem. When the state is reversed, so if you heal someone injured, if you unhook someone hooked, you get back the points you lost, everyone gets them back. And the person who actually performed the action is going to get a bonus. The idea being, if everyone in your team is selfish, everyone is going to go down together in this emblem. But if you're actually helping out each other, even though you're not the one participating directly, if your team is benevolent, you will not lose points because you will get back everything that you lose. If you are the one actually deciding to help others and heal and unhook, you will get a bonus associated to that. On the other hand, malicious works exactly in reverse. So you get points each time you are able to injure or down a survivor, and those points are lost when the state is reversed, so when the person is healed. You will also get points when you hook someone, but this time the points are not lost if an unhook is performed. Meaning that as soon as you hook, you get your points, they are secured, there is no incentive for you to actually camp the person, go do something else and go eat someone else, the points are yours.
Self-care doesn't affect benevolent, right?
Okay, so self-care is going to make everyone win back the points they lost, just because the state is reversed. But because you can't really be benevolent toward yourself, you're not going to get the bonus
for healing yourself.
Yeah, for healing yourself, exactly.
Someone was asking about the hatch counts as an escape. Obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the same thing.
And the last one?
And the last one, evader versus chaser. So that's personally the one I'm the most excited about, because the idea behind it is to reward stealth as a way to escape and win points, or just confront the killer. You are still able to do that, but both options are available to you. So how does it work? You win points passively by being around the killer and remaining unseen, so not triggering a chase. The closer you are, the more points you win. So if you actually get around the killer and manage to hide in a very close spot, your amount of points is gonna increase at a way faster pace than if you stay on the other way of the map and never see the killer. You will still win points, but way more slowly. You will also win points if you get in a chase that you manage to escape. The condition for escaping being you don't get hit.
Yeah.
If you get hit during the chase, it's considered 1 for the killer, and you will win no points. If you are able to escape the chase without being hit, you will get points. The points being basically put inside the pool, growing as the chase goes on.
So as soon as a chase is started, there's points accumulated, and either the survivor gets it by stopping the chase, or the killer gets it by hitting the survivor.
Exactly.
So
and in this case, the winner of the chase gets
the pool of points.
Exactly.
Cool. That makes sense.
And so chaser, on the other way for the killer, rewards your ability to actually spot survivor and trigger chases. Landing a hit, so winning the chase, also brings a big amount of points, and you get additional points if the chase has been long and successful.
There we go.
So that's it for the overview of the different emblems. There is one more slide dedicated to what we expect during the PTB, just to let you know what we are looking for and what we encourage you to do. So play as much as you want. We want to gather data from a wide range of players and from very different skill levels. The idea being that we'll be able to see, okay, how many times are you able to get those emblems, at which pace? Is there an issue with some of them? So we can refine our balancing based on that, and the more data we have available, the better. So
just play.
Please play as much as you want. There will be a survey once the PTB ends. What we're looking for is more qualitative feedback. So we'll have the ability to, you will have the possibility to express yourself, so please do. Any constructive, qualitative comment is going to help us to make design adjustments. It's not all about balancing. There are things that we are already aware of and we want to change. There are things that we're going to discover with you. So everything that you can tell us about how you feel about the emblems, what works, what doesn't, is going to help us to make design adjustments before an actual release.
Yeah.
And finally, try to understand the inner working of the emblems, like how they work exactly, what they reward and how they reward it, and try to be playful with them. Like try to
maximize one emblem, try to for example, make someone lose their, make sure the killer doesn't get his emblem.
Absolutely. Like one game you can decide to be fully altruistic and do only benevolent. What happens if you do that? The other game you can try to be super selfish and do only gens. What happens? So yeah, just be playful and like enjoy playing with the system, and everything you can tell us based on your feelings is gonna be super valuable for us.
So that's a lot of information that we just gave people. It's fine, you can go over and watch it again. But really the important thing is, if you want to take part in the PTB and help us make this the best possible system to put in the live game afterwards, just play it. That's it really. Just play the game, check the results at the end. Takes 5 minutes to check the tally screen and look at it and give us your comments. But even just playing without giving us your comments will help, because we need more stats, we need more people playing the game and data to analyze. And if you give us your comments in the survey, and as you said, mostly how you feel about stuff and how you like it, what's your impression, instead of trying to describe exactly what happened, because that we get from the data.
Exactly. So what we're looking for is how you feel.
Yeah.
Everything factual, we get it from the data. What we want to know is how you feel about it and how you express it to us.
Yeah. Just a quick note also, Gabriel will post on all the social networks tomorrow, I believe, on how to take part in the PTB. It's going to be over the weekend only, because the crawler is not there anymore. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll tell you exactly how to get in. You'll need to download an alternate version of the game, and then it's going to be over the weekend only, which starts usually early on Friday and ends late on Sunday. So yeah, please help us make this a very cool feature that we can then broadcast to the rest of the community.
Woo! That was a lot that they just poured into us. Okay, so basically I am going to go over the main parts here. Basically, this is the new pip system, how things are going to work for Killer and for Survivor, which means now Survivors actually have to do certain things in order to get their pips. Now, as a Killer, you no longer really have to kill players. You do have to kill to get some points, but you do not need to be mainly about killing, which is also really good. Now, you will also be rewarded for doing certain things like not camping. You'll be rewarded for not pallet looping, and they also are rewarding stealth gameplay, which is really good. Now, I can still see people camping and pallet looping, because that's what people are going to do, and that's probably always going to be here. Now, I am concerned about gin rushing, because you get points for finishing gins quickly, which means a lot of players are going to be bringing brand new parts. I can see it happening, so prepare to see some brand new part spammage when the PTB comes out for real. And that is going to be it for the news, actually. I'm going to be calling it here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you do hit that like button, and make sure you do subscribe with notifications on to get more news videos to you guys and other games that I play. Make sure you also leave down in the comments how this made you feel. I love hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions. Tell me what you guys think about the PTB and the new pip system. Are you excited for it? Do you hate it? I really want to know. Let me know down in the comments below. Later tonight at 10 o'clock news. Is bringing items into the PTB really a bad thing?
Oh yeah, if you bring all the insta items and the add-ons and you just play the game with every single top quality stuff because you know you're not going to waste them, is going to screw things up a little. So try to be a little moderate. Don't just go in there with all the Moris and all the brand new parts and everything else.
Absolutely.